I was going to ask you a question about Jesus.
Go ahead, Rita.
We want to know what you believe first, Alf.
So I can't ask about Jesus now?
I want you to ask about Jesus only after you tell me what you believe.
No,
Are you a Muslim or not?
Yes, I'm answering the prompt, isn't it? You're saying, why don't Muslims believe in Jesus?
Are you a Muslim or not?
Yes, if you open your ears
Okay, then that's all that you needed to do. Why are you dancing around this? Why is it so hard to say I'm a Muslim?
Yes, I am Muslim. You're not hearing me. And this is the third time I've said it now.
Okay, cool. No problem. All right, so what's your question?
So the prompt is that, why don't Muslims believe in Jesus? Because do you is Jesus God?
Yes.
Yeah, he is.
Jesus died on the cross?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So God died then, yeah?
No, he didn't.
God died and then he rose again on the third day. You have a problem with that? Faruchi!
So, I mean, how do you...
You came back. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, what is it? What's the problem, Alf?
I just comprehend that God died. I don't understand that.
Okay, so when somebody dies, do they cease to exist?
Well, it's different.
I mean, even Islamically, listen to me, Alf, okay? Even Islamically, you know that if you die, right, that you don't cease to exist, you still exist. Only you exist in a different dimension, right?
But how can you compare us to God?
So based on your argument,
Can you listen? Can you listen? Shakir, stop talking over me, okay? I'm talking to your brother here. Does God cease to exist at all?
I can't talk with a woman.
Hey, stop. Oh my goodness.
Just get rid of the misogynist.
How can you compare us to God? That's the question.
Alf, I'm talking to you about you. I want to know your understanding of death. If you die, do you cease to exist?
Well, the physical body, yes.
Yeah, we don't care about the physical. You know that that's not the permanent, right?
Yep, the soul, yeah. Soul lives forever.
Yeah, so then all we care about is the soul, the permanent aspect of our existence, right?
100%, yes.
Okay, so then please hear me out, okay? Because you asked and I don't feel that you're being in any way disrespectful. I'm going to answer you. Okay? So the fact that you don't cease to exist shows that God, okay, even if he dies, doesn't cease to exist. Can you does that correlate to you?
Well, it doesn't correlate to me. I don't correlate to God, so God is totally different than me.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in the Christian perspective. I'm not asking you to become a Christian. We the Christians believe that our God exists, okay? And he continues to exist. He's always eternal. The fact that he took on flesh does not diminish the fact that he is God, the eternal. Okay? Our God can do all things that glorify him. And so in order for you to understand what we're saying, you have to deal with the permanent. You have to deal with the supernatural. Do you understand?
You understand what you're saying, but I don't.
I know, and I'm trying to explain it to you. But what you're trying to do actually, because I come from Islam, is playing dumb. Okay? And I know this trick. So the fact is that I've already proved to you that dying doesn't mean you cease to exist. In fact, dying actually still in Islam, it tells you Islamically, you know that the dead soul still hears you, still understands, still can exist with you, and you can in fact interact with your dead in a dream state. That's what you Muslims believe.
But
you can interrupt for a second.
How can you compare human beings to God?
I'm not asking you to understand what God is, okay? I'm asking you to understand the supernatural first.
Okay,
Do you agree with what I just said or not?
Not really when it comes to God. To human beings, yes.
I didn't ask you about God, man. I didn't ask you about God. You have no understanding about who God is. You don't even know who your God is.
You just told me just a minute ago that God can die, and it doesn't mean that he's dead.
Yes, I did, and I told you God died and he resurrected. Okay, in his flesh, the flesh part of God, okay, resurrected. It doesn't mean that God ceased to exist at any point in time. Do you understand?
So let me get this straight. So God can be his own creation, yeah? That's
What's the problem with that? What's the problem with that?
So how does he become God?
What? No, I just want to understand something. So he can create something, he just can't be a part of it.
No, of course he can't be a part to it.
How did Allah tell you he created everything?
Yeah, but God separated
How
himself
did Allah tell
from
you
his
that he
creation.
creates?
But Allah separated himself from his creation.
Yeah. Wow. Where does it say that?
Where
in the Quran does it say that he separated himself? Listen to me. Where in the Quran does it say that he separated himself from his
where
creation?
doesn't it say that?
Okay. Do you understand that in your Quran, your Allah says that if he wanted to have a son, he could have a son from his creation? He could. You're the ones who actually diminish his power. But your Allah literally says that if he wanted, if, the word is, the operative word we're using here is if, okay? So the possibility exists, the probability exists that if Allah wanted to have a son, he can have him and create him from his own creation. And you would be forced to worship that son. Do you understand? That's what it says in your Quran.
No, but we don't do
I can
that.
show you.
You're the ones that are doing that.
My dear man, I'm telling you what your Allah says, word for word, verbatim. Your Allah in the Quran says that if he wanted to have a son, he would have a son from his own creation. And if he did have that son, you would be forced to worship him. Because Muhammad would be the first of the worshippers of that son.
Okay, that's an if, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's fine. And I can show you where it does happen, in fact, in your Quran.
Well, it's the first I'm hearing of it in the Quran.
In your Quran, Alf, listen to me. In your Quran, Allah gives us a challenge, okay? In that if, okay, the operative word is if, hypothetically, if he wanted to have a son, he could have a son, and he would choose from his own creation to bring forth this son, okay? He specifically says son, يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدًا, okay? And then he follows it up with, oh, if I were to have a son, you would have been the first of worshippers. And then he follows it up with choosing a woman, having a son by her, and he does some stuff to the woman. And then he has a son, and then he continually goes on to refute himself by giving his own powers to that son. Same powers of creation, the same powers of control over life and death, which he doesn't display, but oddly enough, his son displays.
I think
So you have to make, listen to me. You have to reconcile for me, okay? Because I left Islam for this very, very good reason, okay? Reconcile for me how I'm supposed to take everything that is within your Quran that tells me that your Allah, in fact, is within creation, okay? Comes in and out of creation, gives his power to creation, has a son by his own creation, and then continues to give his powers, all of his powers, to this person that is his son, even if he denies it 1 billion times. He still continues to refute himself. And then he says that this son is his own word, is his own breath, is his own spirit, and not just a messenger. And then in another verse, it literally tells you that he and him should be worshipped together in your Quran. Now, if you want me to walk you through this, I can. No problem. But you would still have to understand what the Quran is actually saying to you. Bear in mind, you believe in something called Tawheed. Tawheed means the unification of many things. Okay?
So can I say something now?
Sure you can.
Okay. So this is your understanding of the Quran, which I understand.
No.
Because you come from Christianity,
No, I come from
Everything you
Islam.
just said,
See, I've already
everything
made it
you
very
just
clear
said
for you.
is
You
is
are just making
what the
things
Christians
up
believe in.
about me. Now you're just making things up about me. I just told you I come from Islam, Sunni Islam to be specific. I'm Saudi Arabian. I speak the Arabic language. I'm very fluent in it. It's my language. The Quran that you hold so dear is mine before it ever was yours. So now I understand it. And even your shiyukh, they run away. Your imams, they run away. They have no answers because they're lying to you. We are happy to show you because there's me, there's Faruchi, there's Wadu, there's Mushroom. There are 4 people who speak Arabic here. 4. So if I lie to you, at least all 3 of them can tell me, can correct me, and they'll go, hey, Rita, that's wrong. Go ahead. But don't make things up about me, okay?